Alright, hello everyone, this is Crazy aka Why Must I Sign In, and this is going to be another January 2017 StarBattleX Open Tournament match. In the bottom left we have Sabre6. I'm not sure who's going, I'll just go from the bottom. We have Bled, who opened Explosive Charge, that strong side lane open. We have DarkQuest opening Imp on Raven, Jimber going mid lane Colossus with 4-3, PraetorAlex going mid with Plague, Overlord, JQuest going Feedback Arbiter, and Survivorman going side lane. Really a farm open. In the top right, we have DPA with Nox going opening Mutation, I'm guessing, Alpha, Imp, Raven, Raphael 4-3, Colossus, LaptopPanda, Range, Missile, DC, LuckyDevil, Plague, Overlord, LSD getting beat up in the side lane, having opened Nova. Good strong opening from Sabre6. My understanding is that so far in this qualification stage, Sabre6 has had kind of a rocky start. They have not won too many games in the qualifier yet, but ultimately they should still qualify since there is 15 teams for a 16 team qualifier. It's kind of a funny way that works out. So they will still continue on. No one will get eliminated in this matchup particularly. So they are really in it for points and for the fun and for the win. DPA so far has gone 2-2, but I don't know who all their opponents were, so I don't really know what exactly that means. Looks like we have a minor lead right now from Sabre6, probably primarily, I'm guessing, because of bled in the side lane, but actually PraetorAlex is leading them in farm, who is in the top. I got a private message, so the screen will pause for just a second as I check to see what they were saying. Just a request for the link to the stream. Alright. Almost, maybe I should actually think about trying to go windowed mode so that I can actually check Twitch, or I'm sorry, not Twitch stuff, but TeamSpeak stuff while the games are going. That's something I'll think about as I do more of these again. A little bit of damage on JQuest. So in terms of composition, we have the Leviathan versus the Guardian. Sideline Dreadnought versus the Void Ray. Is Sabre6 going... Let me look at this comp. We have Overlord, Raven, Arbiter, Colossus, Dreadnought. Yeah, so there's the tank. So it's Leviathan, Colossus versus Colossus, Dreadnought. The Void Ray. Oh, let's see what else we got here. Ravens are mirrored. Overlord for Overlord for Overlord. So the Void Ray is versus the Arbiter, I guess, in that sense. Is that right? These are just very different comps. Void Rays and Leviathans versus Dreadnoughts. It's madness. No, this is great. This is fun. This is it's not just a single ship difference, not a practical mirror match. Void Ray makes a really big difference, especially since they're actually up on farm at the moment. LSD is a very competent Void Ray at 100 farm. 400 minerals is not enough to come back and instantly kill someone, but big decisions are made with 400 farm on the first back. Basically, what do you think the opposing team will be capable of going forward? I'm gonna probably mute my mic whenever I'm not speaking for the moment until there's some background noise that's gonna pass. Got the 4 beam and the blink though, with no beam speed though. So enough to cut through some of the heavy shields and armor on the Dreadnought, but not enough to really kill anyone necessarily. Our team is just casually backing off, and it's a pretty even game so far, so this is looking like it's not going to... This game is almost certainly going to make it to the mid-game stage, so we'll get to see how these comps play out. How these camps play out. Can't even talk, man. All right. Survivorman with the Scourgies up against the Void Ray. Man, this is good for right now, assuming he doesn't get cut off by the. Ooh, BC with missile pods. Wow. Pods. I like it. It's so distinctive. So flashy. Raphael got the hardened shield. Raven got up to 400 energy. The opposed Raven is at 300 energy still, and it's going to be going back with 300 minerals. Nox and PraetorAlex are the fed ships, so 475 energy with Plague, and then where's Nox? Is Nox there, Overlord? No. Nox is the Leviathan with Frenzy whenever he's ready to pop it. Got that Frenzy bubble just waiting to pop. Ooh. Void Ray is just like, no, I'm not going to let you drop Scourges and get anything done with them. I'm just going to say no. No Scourges. Not in my house, sir. Not in my house. Yeah, man. And on the one hand, you know, if the Guardian can get Parasite and drop it on LSD, that makes it really hard for LSD to consistently really do anything exciting with Cloak. On the other hand, most games, Void Ray versus Guardian, and certainly in public games and quick matches, the Void Ray is gonna win, unless the support really make a big difference. It's really hard for the Guardian to always stay in the correct position, not get cut off. I'm terrible at Guardian though, so usually in pretty much any matchup, if it's anything against a Guardian, my mind sometimes thinks that the Guardian will lose because I'm so bad with it. So there is that. There's my little bias. I can even see how bad am I with Guardian. Curious now. Oh, I can't even click on myself here. Oh well. When you're actually a player in the game, there's buttons you can click that will show you your statistics for every given ship, but I cannot click those right now because I am not actually playing. This is kind of an easy push out. Trying to get the denial on the Overlord, making sure that the Raven stays burning with the Plagues, basically not letting anyone feel too comfortable, but also with no real big pushes or warp tricks available at the moment. No one's going to die for the next minute or so at least. Blue team is up a little bit on farm, but red team is pushing right now, so we'll see if they can get some of that back. Generally, if you can keep it within 200, it's not really that big of a difference, especially as you push past the 10-minute mark. And red team is not... is keeping it within 200, but they are going back now, so that's going to be a little bit tricky. Up top with the lockdown, 450 energy, no lasers on 3-shot farm. That's interesting. But a lot of the time, the lockdown is just more important. LSD now does have 0.43 beam speed. Also picked up Chrono Rift just to make sure, you know, I'm not going to let those Scourges get through, although actually some of the Scourges did get through because they just survived through the Chrono Rift, but not enough to do a lot of damage. Let's see if is he going to pop another one? Ooh, he's going out here on his own. He's like, I'm not afraid of you, Void Ray. I'm not afraid of you at all. I'm ready to fight. You want some? You want some of this? And the Void Ray does not want any of it. All right. Slow push out from blue. Trying to just get a little bit more of a farm lead. Up to 250 now. Up to, oh no, more up to 300 now. Getting a little bit of damage in on bled, but, well, actually, bled is getting shields from the Arbiter. Actually, whoa. What is going on here? Frenzy really caught, I think Frenzy caught bled off guard a little bit there. Really got in, and I'm not even sure if bled has E-shields yet. Let's see. Oh, no, protective field and protective field. He did not have emergency shield, so if he popped right there, he would have been gone. Wow, that was close. Bled does not like the feeling that he had right there. But he stayed alive. Arbiter kept him up. Let's see, what is, JQuest has 100 shield per second, so decent shields. Like last time, I meant to ask him about the, I meant to ask him about the choices on not getting force field last game, but he's definitely not going to get force field this game. There's really no missiles to worry about here. I mean, there's technically Bioswarm, but Bioswarm is not really something you make your build around as a Arbiter. Ooh, Laptop gets caught out here. I'm not sure this is really enough to get a kill, but definitely, you know, cutting him off in terms of just timing. He's going to have to spend a lot more time in base now, and it lost the warp, and he makes the rest of his team kind of have to come back here. Yeah, that was a good interrupt by Jimber. But blue team is still up 400 farm right now, so even though they're going to have to spend a little bit more time in base than they wanted to, with the Void Ray, having a farm advantage is very important, because if he can get charge and a little bit more beam damage, sometimes you can just pop in and pick someone off before anyone can even get into position to deny him. That's the appeal of the Void Ray as the game goes on. The fear of the Void Ray in terms of composition is that your team will be down on farm for so much of the game that they will not be able to ever take advantage of the Void Ray's positional strength. You know, a lot of the time you just have a Void Ray on your team and the team just gets entirely shut down. But not this game. This game, they are staying up on farm. They have their BC and their really, and I think a big part of that really was in largely shutting down Survivorman. You know, he's been kind of on the side lane, but he's not really up on farm. And so when that happens, that means that, you know, the LaptopPanda, the pods, LSDs, Nova, that's really been making a big difference here in terms of the spread of the farm. How are we doing on the bottom lane? Nox is up to 9 tentacles. He's got rapid regeneration, 1800 life. He's getting fat. He's getting up there. Not too much armor yet. I don't know. We could check to see what other fancy upgrades he has. There's a lot of upgrades that sometimes make it hard to see what all you have. So we have rapid regeneration frenzy, metamorphosis, yeah, he does have organic carapace. Okay. Chrono boosted PraetorAlex coming in with the 1,750 damage Psyblast. He has the Siphon Energy, he has the Plague, he has even Contaminate. Contaminate, I'm thinking, is for the Void Ray. So he's not just going to be dropping it too often on Raphael and some of the other mid lane ships. He's really saving it in case the Void Ray dives in. That would be my suspicion anyway. Oh, no, I guess he'll just cast it whenever he feels like casting it. But it's 100 energy, so it does a small amount of damage, but oh, actually, is it for the Leviathan then? Trying to think of what his reasoning is in picking Contaminate over Psyblast, or upgrading his Psyblast more. Because you have to think, you know, it's not so much that the spell itself is so expensive, but generally, you know, at 550 energy, you're not going to be able to even cast Siphon, Psyblast, and Plague consistently. So picking it before a spell, there's generally a reason. You know, it's more post 600 energy that you'd usually pick up Contaminate in my mind if you didn't have a reason to do so, such as fear of a Leviathan or a Void Ray. So all this junk on the battlefield means the Overlord has started to drop Swarm. JQuest taking a lot more Broodling damage than he would like. Some OBF harassment there. Bled is helping keep it all off him though. Swarm command in the post 20-minute mark starts to be very troublesome in certain pushes. You know, it's always tricky deciding when to get swarm command because, first of all, there's always the concern that it's going to slightly lag the game. If I check my frame rate, oh, actually my FPS is fine right now. Sometimes as the game goes on, the swarm command can really start to lower the frame rate of the game. But the bigger concern is that if you get it too early, then the corruptors a lot of the time will actually pick off some of these creeps from the enemy team, which is effectively denying your team a small amount of farm. So you can see, you know, the Mutalisks are fighting, but they got distracted by Jimber here. But a lot of times, you know, the Mutalisks and the corruptors will start fighting these little ships, and that changes the farm ratio. So it's not that PraetorAlex can't affirm swarm command. He might just not really want it yet for that reason. But it's also that it doesn't have a lot of burst damage, right? When it starts annoying someone like an Arbiter, it's generally kind of sporadic and hard to anticipate. So a lot of the time as an Overlord, your win condition is based so much on sudden, unexpected burst damage that's just unavoidable because you outrange the enemy and can just keep dropping side blasts and they can't do anything about it. And a lot of times it's just more tempting to focus on that and skip the swarm command, even though swarm command can be very irritating for the enemy a lot of the time. Jimber picking up some of the side lane farm. He's got Lance, Hardened Shield, and Recharge Shield. Survivorman with the Dark Swarm, the Adrenal, and the Scourge. I'm really surprised that he's gone so heavy into Spines. 16 Scourges. I mean, they have the Colossus. They have pods. I don't know why he spent... I don't know why Survivorman spent so much on Scourges when they have so many responses to it. I would have thought he'd want to transition much more quickly into Broods. I mean, it's always appealing to have some into Scourges because you just want to be able to deal damage or threaten people and make them spend their mana to respond to it, yes. But you also want to be building toward the point in the game where you'll actually be able to kill someone, and a lot of time you just can't kill anyone when they have responses to Scourges, so I think that's a curious... I disagree with the decision to invest so heavily into Scourges as he did. But who knows, maybe he'll get a pick. And if he gets a pick, all it takes is one pick at the right time. All it takes is, you know, some missile pods or something else to make it completely worth it to invest in Scourges like that, so... See, he drops the Scourges, pods come out, and then he puts the shield up and it's just nothing happens. Yeah. I don't know, we'll see. JQuest getting locked down, he really doesn't like that. They don't have a battle cruiser, so they don't have a way to really respond super conveniently to lockdown. They want to get PraetorAlex to get a Siphon in there, maybe. Or maybe just push them all back. DPA is up to a 700, almost 800 farm lead, so they're feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, I feel like start to finish, a big part of the change in economy is because of the side lane Guardian that has not been having nearly as much impact on the game as I think he was hoping or thinking it would. That's just my impression, though. There is the question of how LSD is doing. 0.21 beam speed. Only 6 beam, but he's got the charge. He's got 450 energy. LSD is getting to that point where when he starts to really just dump some more money into beam damage itself, he's going to be ready to just jump in and murder someone. Survivorman really, I mean, instead of that Scourge upgrade, I'm surprised he didn't pick up Parasite, something that he can maintain more of a constant presence and awareness of where the Void Ray is, at least. Yep, lockdowns are decent for Colossi, too. Drains them... Really? Wow, yeah. Almost 400 energy drained from that lockdown. drains 10 energy a second for 10 seconds, but it also interrupts the energy regeneration. So even though it should only be 100... Wow. The violence is real. Nox just comes in, drops Frenzy, and before I even am aware of what's going on, PraetorAlex has just exploded. Now Blood is going to go down. This is suddenly this burst damage. I'm sitting here watching the Void Ray and stuff, and it's the Leviathan that's gotten so fat. It's hard to keep track of all the damage. I mean, that's what happens with the 700 point difference, is it gets a little bit harder to cast the game just because there's so much damage everywhere that you don't know where death is going to come from. Oh my goodness. Well, this game is, I mean, 4 ships, you got the Guardian, but the Guardian has no Broodlords, right? I mean, it would be Broodlords that would prolong the game at this point if something was going to. And he's got level 5 Broodlords, but he's only got 375 energy. I mean, he committed a lot of resources to the Scourge, and it really just did not quite work out. JQuest did end up getting Force Field this time. This is interesting, right? Because last game I was like, wow, he really should be getting Force Field, and because of the frigate. In this game, I mean, there are missiles on the BC, but I'm kind of surprised. You know, he actually didn't go Cloak this game for the Void Ray and the Leviathan, which are not going to be punished as heavily from Force Field. But interesting choices all around. It's like, who dies on the blue team here? This is what I'm wondering. It's really easy to overcommit as Leviathan. This is always my problem playing Leviathan, is you get so fat you think you're truly invincible, and you dive in just too far one time, and then your whole team is like, dude, you had so many minerals, how did you die? And you're like, I don't know. But yeah, that's generally just an overcommitment, which it doesn't seem like Nox is necessarily going to be subject of this time. So who dies? Does the Overlord die? You know, if you're the red team, you're trying to think, who do we kill? How do we get back into this game if it's at all possible, which really it probably shouldn't be, unless something goes catastrophically wrong. I don't think you're going to kill the Void Ray unless he overcommits. I mean, your win condition at this point is the enemy team overcommitting, which is not a win condition you want to have, because it's not very consistent, for reasons that are beyond obvious. Yeah, I mean, even if they dive into the, they can pretty much just walk into the mothership with how much meat they have on their team and how much damage they have. How do you win here? Broodlords are way too low to deal enough damage as they would need. We got PDD and Imp, which is not going to do enough to really contain the Void Ray. I mean, the Imp is for the Void Ray, but you'd need Blackout, really. A Blackout would be the game-changing move here. A Blackout with what? How would they actually get the kill, though? They don't really have any damage except for, I guess, the Scourges and the Broodlord. So what they'd have to do is... What do you got? 13,000 life. 12,000 life. 18,000 life. 18,000 life. Really? Do they have the same amount of life? Huh. Just about. Like 100 life difference, actually. Ooh! Well, when the Raven's gone, it's truly game over. There's just no way now. Blackout really was the one way they might have been able to theoretically get back in the game, but I don't. Yeah, no, definitely not now. Really, it was over when they lost Alex. So much of their farm was in Alex that there's not a lot of ways they could have recovered from that. LSD did get low here. Yeah, theoretically, if they had blacked out LSD when he was trying to dive them, and then scourged him, I guess something like that would have really been their win condition. But yeah, that did not happen. So DPA takes the win, and Sabre6 will have much luck in the next game, I'm sure. Thanks for watching, and GG's.